Australia, Queensland, New Zealand, America, United Kingdom, wherever you're viewing in from. Hello everybody, I'm Katie Gordon. I'm the founder of Dietless Living, creator of personal health leadership programs, The Real Alternative to Dieting, and the author of The Missing Link to Sustainable Weight Loss. Welcome to Friday afternoon. It's 4:30. We're streaming live from Brisbane. Thank you for joining me today. This afternoon we're going to continue our conversation about dealing with negative thoughts and why you can't control them, and more importantly what you can do to take charge of them. So welcome and thank you for joining me. Hello there, how you going? Who's that who's just hopped on? Wonderful to see you. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop the phone down and turn you around, turn the viewing mode around so that I can, well, so you can read what I have on the board, but unfortunately I won't be able to see you once I do that. So I'll pop back on later and say hello. Thank you for joining. I see I've got a few viewers on there already. Wonderful to see you. Thank you very much. Now I'll just turn you around. You can have a look at the beautiful view outside for a second. There we go. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Doesn't that look wonderful? Happy days. Okay. So we're going to turn you around. Blair Witch moment. And here we go. Turn you around so you can see what's on the whiteboard. Yay, there we go. Oh. Hi. Hello, hello. Well, we haven't worked out how to get an Android phone to have selfie mode on where it's not the mirror thing, so that would be because if I have it in mirror mode, that's all backwards and you can't read it. So if you're watching and you know how to get an Android phone, we know how to do it on an iPhone, but we can't work it out on the Android. The Android has completely different settings, and so I'm still looking for the solution. So you can read that and I can see you. At the moment you can read that but I can't see you. So thank you for joining me. I'm very pleased to see you this afternoon. So what we were talking about today at 1 o'clock, we started the conversation then, and we were talking about dealing with negative thoughts and why, the truth about why you can't control them, because the truth is about to do with what we keep putting in to our mind. Same as like if you're eating, it's about what you put into your body that gives you the result. Well, the same goes for our thoughts and our mental health. So there's a lot of talk about the importance of good mental health, and so there should be, because it really is important. 1 in 6 people in Australia currently have depression and or anxiety, and it's more likely that 1 in 6 is a female over being a male. They didn't actually give results for that, but we could probably work it out for ourselves, although there will be differences. So really what we want to talk about, whether you're a male or a female, is how to take control of those negative thoughts and improve your mental health, because depression and anxiety are a focus inwards on the thoughts that we're having. It's a thought pattern that spirals us down. It's anxiety. When we start to get niggly feelings, we go, oh, is that anxiety? And then we go inside and we start looking for, is that anxiety, is that anxiety? And then we get anxiety. Sometimes it just comes on its own, that is true. But then it's also the thoughts we have about it that spiral it. It's the activities that we do when we have it that spiral it. There's different degrees, I understand. There's panic attacks, there's low-level anxiety, but overall it's how we think about it that causes it to escalate. And the same with depression. It's the thinking habits that we have, the thought habits that we have that are not doing anything to help it. And in fact, if we change our thought habits, we can actually turn it around and improve it exponentially just by changing our thoughts. So back to why we can't control our negative thoughts. It's because we're not taking care to have great thought health habits. And the thought habits that we have come down to the things that we talked about this morning. So it's really about taking charge of your own psychology and about understanding what are thought generators. So thought generators are everything that you watch, TV, anything with a screen, anything you're watching, that is generating thoughts. Anything you're listening to, that's generating thoughts. Anything you read generates thoughts. Anybody that you're talking to, all the people you're talking to, generates thoughts in your mind. And everything that we talk about ourselves, everything we say to other people, our brain hears it and turns it back to us, and we have more thoughts about it. So every time you're writing something, texting, emailing, SMSing, writing on post, if you pay attention, while you're writing, you're saying all that in your mind. You're saying it to yourself. You're not just writing it without saying it. You're saying it to yourself. And every word that you say paints a picture in the mind of yourself and in the mind of others. So be aware of what we're saying to ourselves, what we're saying to others, and what's coming in, what we're choosing to let in. We have great freedom to choose over the input that comes into our awareness and into our mind. So it's about taking charge of your psychology by taking charge of the things that you are using that are generating your thoughts. And what we talked about this morning was some of the easy things to do, because we talked about if you're watching scary movies, dramas, thrillers, all those kinds of things, they're not really helping you to have good thought health habits, because what happens is we have all these, we have 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day, and of those 60 to 70,000 thoughts, 95% of them are unconscious thoughts, which means they are thoughts that are happening without your conscious awareness. So it's just that constant chatter in our mind, and our mind is always chatting to us. It's like a narrative. As we go through our day, it's chitter-chattering away. And there's so many things that make it think of things from forever ago. And the things it thinks of from forever ago are generally things that often thinks of from forever ago, because it's a well-worn path, like those cow paths I've talked about. It's a well-worn neurological path, and it's easy for our thoughts to scoot down there, and we find ourselves thinking about the same things that we've thought about every other day of our life. That's actually the process of the human thinking mind. So what we want to do is have awareness of what the narrative's doing, and you can generally tell what you're thinking by the way you're feeling, because thoughts generate feelings, and feelings and thoughts together feed on each other, which eventually come out as a reaction and a behavior. So what you want to do is take charge of your psychology. You want to think about the thought generators that you're using, which is everything you're watching, listening to. So music is a really big one. A lot of people have a wide variety of music that they like, which is fabulous, but you have to be aware of how things make you feel. If you're listening to songs that, even if you just, like I used to love Evanescence, I just think she's got the most magnificent voice, and I used to enjoy their music, but actually their lyrics are very dark, very to the other side, and they used to actually have a massive effect on me, so I can no longer listen to them, because when I listen to them, our brain grabs those lyrics and it thinks, and it molds them, and it plays with it, and it enjoys it, and it wraps itself around it, and it can send you into a spiral of enjoying those lyrics. But those lyrics have a meaning. Words have meaning. I actually would like to show you this, if you don't mind. I just thought of it then, but I have this experiment here. Do you know about Dr. Emoto? He is a Japanese scientist who does water crystals. And what he does is he takes words to water, just a typed out word or a handwritten word, and then when he freezes it, he takes a photo of the crystal that it forms, and depending on the word, pretty words, dolphin, blessing, God, love, friendship, they make beautiful, beautiful crystals, beautiful snowflakes, right? That's all a snowflake is a crystal. And you've seen in the cartoons those beautiful snowflakes. Well, they're the kind of crystals that nice words make. And then there are the words like Hitler, hate, murder, detest, dislike. Those words actually make very ugly crystals, unformed crystals, like these weird shaped ones. They're very unattractive crystals, because what he's proving is the power of the words and the effect that they can have on the human body, because we're 70% water. So one of the things that Dr. Emoto does, or suggests that you do, is his rice experiment. So you cook some rice and you just put it into two different jars, seal them up, and you put nice words on one and yucky words on the other, and just leave it and see what happens. So in 2 years ago now, 21st of March 2018, I did the rice experiment for the second time. I had done it previously, like about 15 years earlier. And these are, I still have the jars just sitting here. So from one batch of rice, all cooked together, all put into the same jars. This one did have words on it, so it's got the pink labels, and the words have really, really faded. I can only just see them there, and you can't. But the words on here were the pretty words. It was love and friendship and like and God and all those really nice words. It'd be better if you could see them all together, but can't. Now this one has gone mouldy a little bit, but I'll show you the difference in a minute. This jar, because he said do 2, but I did 3. This jar has nothing on it at all. And if you can see, it's no longer white. It's actually not long ago stopped being white, but it's not fermented and gone mouldy like the other things. So I think that is because this jar has just been left to pick up the vibe of my home, which is a nice vibe. And this one, oh, how yucky is that? This one has got all the yucky words on it. So this says dislike, criticize, rage, Hitler, violence, all of those yucky, yucky words. Now have a look at the difference in the 3 rices, just from the words that are written on them. That's the only difference. That one, and we're going to be careful I don't drop them because that'd be nasty. Now you can see that one it's fermenting, but I think it's only because it was only when the words started to fade that it started to ferment. But it's still white in comparison to that. Like, there's an absolute difference. And just to refresh, that one, which is just like Winnie the Pooh, the blank slate, it's still quite, you can still recognize that it's rice and there's no liquid in the jar. So the power of words is what we're getting at with those, showing you that rise. Because the power of words that we are saying to ourselves, but more importantly, the power of the words we are putting into ourselves is generating your thoughts. So are you generating good thoughts, or are you generating negative thoughts? And this is what we're here to talk about today, because you have to take charge of your psychology, and it's not your fault. We've not been taught how to take charge of our psychology. There's all kinds of everything out there about how to take care of your body. You know what to eat, you know what to exercise, you know what to do, but we don't know how to change our thoughts. We feel quite powerless when it comes to our thinking processes. We feel bewildered that we don't have control of it, why it keeps going back to the same stuff, And in part, like, it's a big topic, but in part, the most power you have is to be aware of what you're putting in, what you're filling your mind with. So watching comedy and laughing, getting outside is very important, because when you're outside, sunshine is like kryptonite to negative thoughts. It's very liberating and cleansing and refreshing to your mind to be outside of the four walls, to be in natural light. It's very important. Find the beauty in life. There's so much beauty around, even when you get down to that little tiny weed that grows up between the cracks of the bloody pavement that goes to flower, and you've just got to wonder how marvellous that little plant is, that it can do that, where everybody's walking, no fertilizer, no water, it just gets whatever it gets from life, a little crumb of dirt that lives in the crack, and it can still grow to full bloom and flower. Beauty is everywhere. This morning we also talked about gratitude and what really gratitude is and how it is actually helpful, because there's a load of talk around about gratitude. You must have gratitude for this, you must be grateful for life, and that is absolutely true. The caveat though is people aren't clear on what real gratitude is and how to feel it. So I've been noticing that there's a lot of, I'm talking to a lot of people in this current situation. There's a lot of positivity out there. There's a lot of people talking about, well, I'm really grateful that I have my health. I'm really grateful for the time I have with my kids. I'm grateful for this extra time at home. But what is evident to me is there's these words of positivity, these words of gratitude, but it's not words that are feeling like they are backed by that actual feeling of gratitude. It's positivity, which is like a thin film of cling wrap over the top of what is actually feeling like real worry about finances or whatever's happening. So gratitude is actually a feeling. It's not the words that we say that are important, it's how we feel. If you feel true gratitude, the purpose of gratitude is to flip negative thoughts on their head. It's the other side of the coin, if you like. Because when you have negative thoughts, negative feelings, and you get into that spiral there, the way out, the way to quickly pull yourself up from negativity and out of negative thoughts is to be truly grateful. Because when you get into the feeling of grateful and gratitude, what the feeling of gratitude is really a feeling of joy. So when you have that feeling of joy, you're no longer in a negative space. You can't have negative thoughts if you're having feelings of joy. So the real essence of gratitude is actually about the feeling, not the words. So when you feel grateful for time with your family, this unexpected time that you've got, feel that gratitude, feel that joy about it. And that's the most important thing to remember about gratitude. If you're not feeling, if you're saying I'm grateful for things, but you don't have a feeling that's matching that, that's really not flipping the coin. And so what you've still got left in there is that kernel of uncertainty, which will lead to negative thinking. It will lead to thoughts of worry. It will lead to thoughts of concern. It will lead to thoughts of and that will get you back into that place where you don't want to be. So with 1 in 6 people in Australia suffering from depression and or anxiety, we need to really be mindful in this particular time and in any time in our life to take charge of our psychology. Because living your life by design is about taking charge of things for yourself. Otherwise, you're living your life by default, because the thinking processes that happen in our mind are the ones that are running by default, and they've been running by default since you were a little. So you just need to remember how to do that. Now, it's not always easy to do that, because sometimes we have a lot of people in our life that we love and care for, but the conversations that we have with them isn't always the most elevated. And that's what you want to feel, is elevated and uplifted, because that is the surest way out of a negative spiral. To pull yourself up and out of negative thoughts is to find comedy, because when we laugh, you can't have negative thoughts. When you laugh, laughter is like sunshine to your mind. Once you laugh, even the toughest things can feel surmountable. Does that make sense? We know we have a wake after a funeral. We will laugh at a wake because we get together, we share memories, and it's that laughter. It's like a blast of sunshine across the room, because it's that laughter that brings everybody up, that brings the vibe up, that brings the element of us up. And that's the way to move yourself out of negative thoughts. So remember, it's about designing your life, living your life by design, not by default. Taking charge of your psychology, taking charge of the thought generators, which is what you watch, what you listen to, what you read, who you talk to, and the words that you say to yourself. It's really, mental health is really thought health, and thought health is about your thought habits. It's the habits that you keep. It's the same as physical health, right? Physical health is about the physical habits that you keep. Are you keeping good habits or bad habits? Are you keeping habits that are helpful and healthy, or are you keeping habits that are degrading and disintegrating your body? Because ultimately that's what it's doing. So many good people are accidentally committing suicide because they don't know how to change their eating habits, their smoking habits, their health habits in general, and that includes their thinking habits, their thought habits. Mental health is really about your thought habits. I think I'll leave that there for today. So thank you for watching. I'm going to turn you around again and we'll have a quick chat. Hello. Look at that, my booty. Hello. Who's on there? Hello, Kay. Turn you around. Hello, Kay. Hello, Lindsay. Nice to see you again. Hello, Kate down in Melbourne. So great to see you. How are you? Wonderful to see you all on there. Thank you very much for joining in. So just remember, it's our thought habits that are the most important to us in mental health, and why we can't get on top of negative thinking is just because we haven't developed good thought habits. That's all it is. What we've been taught about our mental health habits and about our coping strategies for life has really just, you could fit it in a matchbox. So we need to just be aware ourselves what we're doing. We need to take charge of our own psychology and they're the steps to go forward with in the first place. There's more we can do, and we'll talk about it on other videos, but that's the main thing. Be aware what you're watching, be aware what you're listening to. Everything we watch, everything we put in just affects us. Our brain takes things and runs with it. So I'll leave you with that thought for the weekend. Have a nice weekend. Find some time to get outside, enjoy life. I don't know, the weather's warming up over there for you, Lindsay. I think I heard you're having beautiful weather. My friend was saying down in Surrey that they're in normally April showers, but it's just beautiful sunshine. So I hope you're getting that up in Northamptonshire as well. Take care. It's been wonderful to talk to you all. If this has been helpful to you, would you please share it with others who may find it useful as well? Mental health is a big issue, and a lot of it just comes down to thought health and good thought habits. Take care. Share this with somebody that you love, and I will see you next week. Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays are my live stream days at 1 and at 4:30. Please leave me a comment and say hi to me, because it's really nice to see that you're there. Thank you again for watching. Take care, and I will talk to you next week. Lots of love. Bye.